Good evening, everyone. Both here at in the monastery and people joining in on the internet. So another Wednesday, and it's our opportunity to practice together, have a meditation, guided meditation. And so especially for people maybe are joining for the first time, it's a very simple shape to the evening. We'll begin by paying respects to the shrine, and then get into our meditation posture, and then begin with some guided meditation. It'll be interlaced with periods of just silence, and then we'll close sometime around 8:30 with a short chant. I have a short chant to close the evening. So, okay. So if possible, right from the start of our meditation together, try to establish a posture, bodily posture that is as comfortable as you can be, but not so comfortable that the body slumps. So it's not a total relaxation like sitting down on the sofa or lying down, but there's a bodily alertness, a relaxed alertness. Sometimes people use words, relaxed attention, relaxed attention. So whether we're sitting on a chair or a bench or meditation stool or a floor, the floor, we want to have basic uprightness of the torso, not rigid, but if we try to imagine the ears, the shoulders, and the hips all being in line, if you were to view from the side, and then all the different curves of the body will fit within those three lined up points of reference. And that can really support us in having a more relaxed bodily posture, because everything's in line the way it should be. And this is this amazing design of the human body. Now, some of us might be working with bodily conditions that don't support that particular posture, and that's fine. But more or less, if we can, aim for that. And if we can't sit at all because of some sort of bodily condition, then either standing or lying down. And even though we place attention on the body, and this form of meditation or type of meditation, it's about the heart and the mind. This is not meant to be a bodily exercise to try and get the body right. It's the way I like to look at it is it's using the body to give us an opportunity to investigate thoughts and emotions, to develop our inner world. Because that's where we experience unhappiness, is in the inner world. Body can give us pain, but the suffering and distress is through the mind and the heart. Emotions and thinking. As we establish this bodily posture, it's good to take some time, some minutes, to slowly place attention in every part of the body. Just often they call it body sweeping. Just slowly sweep through the body from the top of the head right to the ends of our toes and fingers, and just intentionally place attention so that you can relax any residual unnecessary tension. Working our way from the crown of the head across the forehead. Really relax all those numerous muscles across the face, around the eyes and cheeks and mouth, and keep working your way down. So I'll go into silence for a couple of minutes so that we can do this in our own time, working the way all the way from top of the head to the toes and fingers, relaxing, releasing. if you find your mind wandering as you sweep through the body, as we're doing that, if you realize that you're no longer paying attention to the body, just reestablish mindfulness at the last place you do remember. So let's say you got down to your shoulders and then sort of spaced out and start thinking of something else. Just return to the shoulders and start slowly moving through the body again. And it's no problem. So reestablishing. So perhaps we're establishing this more relaxed way of being with the body. And as I think we all know, the body affects our mental states, our emotional states, and vice versa. The emotional and mental states affect our body. There's a feedback loop there. And so before we begin to refine our attention, our mindfulness, just offer a few words on attitude towards practice, meditation practice, because there's so many different ways, techniques, meditation styles, whatever you want to call it. And that's fine. That's fine and normal. And so what works for one person might work differently for someone else or not work. So it can also be confusing if you hear somebody talk about meditation in one way and give a particular guidance, and it is very different from what you've already established and used. That can be, as I said, confusing. So I often emphasize more just the attitude. So it's not so much the type of meditation you do, but the attitude with which we approach it. And what I found in my own experience is that if we begin our meditation with the desire to achieve some sort of meditative state, to get peaceful or get concentrated or get something, get enlightened. It's acquiring acquiring attitude. And it's often based on an idea of what we think it should be or could be. We have perhaps an idea of what good meditation, developed meditation, successful meditation should be like. And this is quite common, quite pervasive actually. And it's understandable because this is our conditioning, as a lot of our conditioning as human beings is around getting. Get good at something, get something that is good, be good at it. This is good, this is bad. That was a bad meditation, this is a good meditation. But that's an attitude that both from myself, that I've fallen into that trap, but also I've spoken with many people over the years. And it's a bit like starting off on a journey in the wrong direction, I feel. You know, you're starting off in the wrong direction right from the start. Instead of, if we have this idea and attitude that we know what a good meditation should be like, and then if that doesn't happen, then we label that bad. And that is a pattern that we can create in our life, or it's probably already created. Or can we approach meditation as, okay, settled mind and heart, good. Chaotic thinking and emotional roller coaster going on, good. And what makes it good is that you know what you're experiencing, that you clearly see. There's a calmness, a type of peace that can peacefully endure the ups and downs of our inner world, ups and downs of our external world. But if we start by wanting to feel good, to experience peaceful thoughts or no thoughts, and peaceful emotions or no emotions, that if that's the goal, I've noticed in myself that it's just so limiting. We've created a very narrow opportunity for true, deep well-being. A state of well-being that can experience the entire range of being a human. See it clearly, feel it clearly, experience it clearly. Let it be there as long as it is and not make a problem out of it. So now as we go into a period of silence, we can use a exercise to help us establish a more settled, or the opportunity for the mind and heart to settle. And as those of you who have maybe meditated before, using mindfulness of breathing is very, very much used and helpful. For most people, a very helpful meditation. So using our settled posture, bodily posture, now place our attention on the experience of breathing, the bodily experience. Place our attention on whatever part of the body we feel the breath most easily, whether it's our abdomen, rib cage, sensation of the lungs or throat or nostrils, doesn't matter. But just place the attention, our mindfulness, on that part of the body and just experience the in-breath and experience the out-breath. And when the mind wanders, as soon as we realize that the mind has wandered off of that experience, just ever so gently return our attention back on the breath. That's that point of mindfulness. And doesn't matter how many times that happens. So mindful breathing in. We're not altering the speed or depth, strength of the breath, just we're recognizing, noticing, and the same with the out-breath. So I'll go into silence. We'll do this for several minutes. when the mind wanders away from being mindful of the breath, mindful of the breathing process, there's nothing to make a problem out of. It's not a problem that the mind has wandered unless we make it a problem. That's all it is, the mind wandered. If we have the idea that the mind should never wander, then we plant seeds for thinking that it's a problem when it happens. For a great many of us, if not all of us, there is a lot going on in our lives. There's a lot of stimulus, a lot of contact, sense contact as we refer to it. The eye sees something, the nose smells something, ear hears something, we taste something, we feel something with our body, and we think something. So all of these 6 senses, so in a Buddhist practice we refer to the 6 senses as the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And depending on how we're living, it can be a real barrage, a cascade of sense impressions coming our way. Some of the day, a good portion of the day, sometimes all of the day. And they leave an impression in our memory. Sometimes short impression, short-lived, sometimes medium or long-lived. Things that have bigger impact, we remember longer. That's natural, that's normal. So, for instance, I find in my own experience of meditation that when I sit down in the evening like this, because here in England it's in the evening, there are these echoes of my day. Things that happened, things that were said, things that maybe needed to be said and weren't. So in the meditation, if I can remember, if I can be mindful to just open when those things arise in consciousness, just to open to them and not label them as wrong or bad, but just recognize, oh, these are echoes of my day, and then return to the breath. Always returning to the breath. If that's the meditation theme that we're using, just keep gently returning. Ten times, 100 times, 1,000 times. we're developing the ability to know what's present, what's arisen in our consciousness, to feel it, if it has an emotional tone to it, which it does. Even if that's a relatively neutral, there's a neutral tone as well as a pleasant and painful. But we developed the way of being unentangled. There's a lovely phrase, one of our elders uses, unentangled knowing. So it's a full recognition of what's there, but we remain unentangled. Not caught up, trapped. There's awareness of the breath. There might be awareness of thinking, of feeling, emotions, awareness of other parts of the body. Awareness of sound. What's the common denominator? Awareness. What we're aware of, those things come and go. awareness, it remains. It can sometimes be more acute, more sharp. But even when we're asleep, there's a certain level of awareness. Otherwise we wouldn't wake up when there's a noise, alarm clock, or the wind, or something bangs, heavy rain. There's still consciousness and awareness to a certain degree. We can get distracted, but these are just things coming into our awareness, or if you wish, consciousness. And the pain and distress and suffering is we get caught, trapped, wrapped up, entangled in the content of our awareness, in the unwanted thoughts, or even the wanted thoughts. Grasping at the good is also has a painful side to it. So we can develop the aware heart, the aware mind that can experience, as I said earlier, the full range of being a human being, all the different emotions and thoughts and experiences. We can experience that and stay centered. The things in our awareness are not stable, and only partially controllable. So as we go back into silence, do several more minutes of meditation, notice how let's all notice how we respond to the various things that will come into our awareness. And just let it go. And then return to the breath. awareness, or we could say mindfulness, consciousness, awareness, and what we're aware of are two different things. And two separate. Like oil and water. You put them together in the same bottle, or let's say a bottle of salad dressing, oil and vinegar. The oil is separate from the vinegar if you let the bottle sit there long enough. When we shake it up, or we brought it home from the supermarket, it's all shaken up. It looks like one liquid. But as we put the bottle down for a while, then we start to see that they're two separate things. They're separate. In a way, it's a bit like our inner world. When we get all shaken up, things get mixed up, confused, unsettled. But if we take a look, we might see that these two things, awareness and the object that we're aware of, the thing that we're aware of, when we give it some attention, some space, they're separate. As we come near the end of our meditation this evening, just a few parting words. That what I've been reflecting on this evening is not dependent on sitting on our meditation seat. Is that as we develop this ability to be mindful, to be aware of our experiences, it becomes a all-encompassing practice. Yes, when we're doing formal meditation like this, and then also when we're going about our day or night. Obviously we're not closing our eyes when we're going about our business, but if we've tuned in to our inner world, then we're able to notice our thoughts, notice our feelings, and learn how to not grasp them. This relaxed acceptance, unentangled. We might feel something unpleasant, but we're not entangled in it. So we haven't become numb, we haven't become unfeeling, but we've developed the unentangled awareness and peacefulness around whatever comes our way during the day and night.